Somewhere along the way, a lot of us were taught that being a good mom means giving up everything: our hobbies, interests, friendships, goals, our identities. But what if that doesn't have to be true? Motherhood shouldn't cost you.
So come with me as I get a little bit of free time, whatever that means.
Basketball is something that I happen to love. So I decided that while that little girl was home with her daddy, I was going to take myself down to the basketball court by myself. I did not care whether anyone was there. I was going to be alone, practice my jump shots, practice alone time, and just enjoy being by myself for a change. Because she's been attached to my hip since she's been born. And let's not forget how she was inside of me growing. I feel like this has been such a poem thus far. Anyway, honestly, this isn't really about basketball. It's about something motherhood has taught and is teaching me. Somewhere along the line, a lot of us started believing that being a mother meant giving up every part of ourselves: hobbies, interests, goals, quiet time, even friendships. And before we know it, we're pouring so much into everyone else that we can't remember what used to fill us up. We have to relearn ourselves, what we like, what we don't like. What's it like to even be alone because we're so used to kids being joined at our hips. And we become so accustomed to always having someone else around that we forget about ourselves, about our own individuality. I think that's especially true for stay-at-home moms, and I've experienced both sides of this. When you're a stay-at-home mom, when you're home with your child all day, every day, it's easy for your entire identity to become wrapped up in being MOM, mom. And don't get me wrong, being a mother is one of the greatest gifts of my life. I enjoy it. I have fun. It challenges me and everything, right? I love my children deeply. But I don't believe motherhood was ever meant to erase us. I believe it was meant to expand us. I feel it every day. I see myself looking different each day, feeling different. And for a while, I felt guilty whenever I wanted time to myself. You already know those times when we like, oh, I just want a day. I just want a whole day by myself, a weekend to myself in a hotel. Put me in a hotel, coach. And, you know, for a while, I felt guilty whenever I wanted that time to myself. And maybe you felt that too. You finally get your hour. You finally get a few minutes to go take a shower. Bar. The kids are safe. They're with their father, a grandparent, or someone you trust. But instead of you enjoying your break, you're checking your phone every 5 minutes to see if they called, right? Wondering if they're okay, if you should be doing something more productive, wondering if you even deserve a break. Okay? The mom guilt is real. REAL. But I started asking myself something very important, which dealt with my vitality, my longevity, my existence on this planet. I said self, and myself said, I said, if you never rest, take things too serious, never create, never move my body, if I never reconnect with the things I enjoy, right? What version of me am I giving to my children? Let alone my partner. What version of me am I giving to my kids? Because let's face it, burnout is real. And I think sometimes people can make it seem like burnt out moms are bad moms because their attitudes are short, the tempers are short, the patience are short. I get it. I've had moments like that. But burnt out moms aren't bad moms. They're just exhausted. And exhaustion is the thief of all joy. Okay. I don't want my daughter growing up believing that motherhood means disappearing. I also don't want my son to see that this is what women do and to not relieve her of certain responsibilities as a woman, as a mom. I want my daughter to see a woman who loves her family and loves herself. Both can exist. I want my son to see that his future wife will love her family, but you also have to give her space and time to love on herself. Because it ain't all about y'all. Lo siento, pero you know, it's not all about you guys. It's about her too. She is a part of the collective. Right? I want my daughter to know that caring for herself isn't selfish. It's necessary for sanity's sake, for spiritual sake, for the sake of her life. And honestly, basketball reminds me of that. It really and truly does. When I step on the court, I remember another version of myself. No, I can no longer join the WNBA like I wanted to when I was young. And no, I'm not attempting to impress anybody, please. For what? Porque why? But because this is something I enjoy. And I almost forgot that I enjoy it because I had stopped doing it. I no longer poured into me. I forgot what that meant. When I play basketball, it's something that belongs to me. It reminds me of who I was when I was younger, how it made me feel. It reminds me that I am still a person outside of motherhood. And I think every mom needs something like that. Maybe yours isn't basketball, but maybe it's, I don't know, reading, painting, writing, gardening, going for a walk, going on your next 5K race, or maybe even a 10K, a marathon. Maybe it's just sitting in your car in complete silence. Whatever it is, you deserve that time alone. And it's not because you earned it or completed every task on your to-do list, because let's be real, some of that stuff will not get done in that day. And it's not because you finally became the perfect mother. You deserve it because you're human. You're a whole person out here in these streets. any interest of net. And I think sometimes we wait for permission to rest, to dream again, to have fun, to take a break. So, if nobody has told you lately, consider this your permission slip. Take the walk, read the book, join that sexy dance class that's gonna boost your confidence. Go to the gym, shoot the basketball, call that friend, take the nap. Whatever helps you reconnect with yourself, with you, yourself, and I, on your Beyonce tip, me, myself, and I. Whatever it is, do it. Because motherhood shouldn't cost you, and it does not have to cost you. The woman you were becoming before becoming a mother still matters. And that woman you're becoming matters too. Your children need love, your boo need love, but they also need your example. They need to see what it looks like for you to care for yourself, to have boundaries, to pursue joy, to be a whole person out here. One day our children will grow up. They'll need us less and create their own lives. And when that day comes, I don't want to look in the mirror and meet a stranger. I want to recognize me. And it's not because I chose myself over my children, but I learned how to choose both. And that's what I'm working on. Not perfection. I'm no longer thinking about balance, just remembering that I matter too. If you've been carrying mom guilt every time you take a moment for yourself, I hope this encourages you. You are allowed to be a mother, a woman, a person, all at the same time. Now, before you go, what's one thing you used to love doing before motherhood that you like to reconnect with? And if you're already making that time for yourself, what is it? Let's encourage each other. Be sure to subscribe to Real Life Motherhood channel and let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.